Alright guys, working on a 2015 Chevy Cruze. Show you how to totally flush your fluid out of your transmission. A lot of guys just change the, drain the fluid and then put 4 or 5 quarts in, there to, refill it. The way I do it is I totally do a complete flush. And you don't need a machine to do it. You can do this yourself. I've been doing this for quite a few years, and I do it to all my vehicles. What you want to do is, let me get my light on here a minute. That way you can see it a little bit clearer. What you want to do is, what I did is I just got a windshield wash, a 1 gallon jug here, and then I put 3 quarts in it, and the 3 quarts come up to right in here for the 3 quarts. And what you want to do is you want to start your vehicle up. It's best to have an assistant help you do this, one person inside the car starting it while the other person's out here holding the hose until you get close to this 3 quart mark, and then have them shut the vehicle off, and it will actually raise up just a little bit on you. So you don't want to go clear up, but close to it. But what you want to do is on this particular vehicle here, some of them may be a little different, but coming out of your radiator right here, guys, let me get this here out of the way. Coming out of your radiator right here, guys, at the top, disconnect your transmission line right here at the top, and get you one of these. Here, I'll show you. Get you one of these connectors. I ordered this off of eBay here. A connector like this. It's a snap-in style for transmission lines, and you put it in. You put it in this way, and then once you got your clip, check out some other videos on how to, there's a little clip on that hose, and then you just push this in there, and then you put your clip back in so this doesn't come out, and take you, I think I got a 5/16 hose to do the draining, and just put it over top of this right here, like I did here, and put you a hose clamp on there. If you can see that down in there, how I got that hooked up right there, guys. I'm just hooked into the top. I put my clip back in. There's a little clip. There's a little plastic cover over that clip. You take that plastic cover off, and then you can get to your clip. Unclip your hose here, and then put that new fitting in there with this hose. Get you a long hose here. And like I said, get your jug marked out 3 quarts. And then, like I said, have your assistant start the vehicle while you watch this here and get it up here close to the 3 quart mark, and then have them shut the vehicle off. And you come down here, take your plug out for your transmission fill on this particular vehicle here. Get you a nice, fairly good sized funnel there. That way you can pour your fresh. What I'm using here on this one is the Dextron 6, and I'm using the full synthetic on this. And what you want to do is you want to come down to your 3 quarts. Bring this down to 3 quarts on your fresh fluid. Just put 3 more quarts in there, and you do that over. You'll actually do this 4 times. On your 4th time, though, I wouldn't go all the way to the 3. I would come up into here somewhere. That way, if your transmission was a little low, you got a little extra fluid there to put into it. And that way, you know, unless you want to buy an extra cord or something like that. But anyways, now this vehicle here's got 83,000. I don't know if it's ever been changed or not, because the first 3 containers that I pumped out of here were extremely black. I mean, it should be a red color, and it was the first 2 were really dark. And then finally on my 3rd, once I got up into about right here, then I started seeing a little bit change in the color of the fluid. It's starting to turn red now. So on my 4th time, which I haven't done yet, this will probably start turning like it's supposed to be, like a red color. So that way you're flushing every bit of your transmission fluid completely out of this, because just by doing these here, I guess they don't have like a filter in them or something, or if they got like a screen in them, so you don't really need to, I guess, mess with that. But anyways, you know, flush that all the way out, you guys. Get you 3 of those containers. This is what I did. I got, so basically 12 quarts is what you want to do. You want to go through 12 quarts on one of these. That way you get this your transmission completely flushed out with brand new fresh fluid. And like I said, you can do this yourself. You don't need a machine to do it. You don't need to take it in and do it. If you know basic, you know, maintenance on your vehicle, you know how to do a little bit, you can do this yourself. I've been doing it for quite a few years, and I've never had any transmission issues. So this way I'm getting fresh fluid in there, completely fresh. And I use a full synthetic too, guys, on these transmissions, because especially on these front wheel drive cars, they run extremely hot. And I mean, you're getting a lot of heat off your motor right here into that transmission. And that's the #1 cause of transmission failures, is the transmission fluid getting too hot, and then it just burns it up, and then you start burning your clutch packs and everything else up in those. So anyways, guys, I thought I'd throw that video out there for you guys that you know, want to save a little bit of money and do your own transmission complete fluid flush. This is not just draining, you know, 4 or 5 quarts out and then putting 4 or 5 quarts in, which you could do that after you do a complete flush like this. I like to do a complete flush every 100,000 miles. That way I know I'm getting, you know, fresh fluid in there. And then I'll probably do a drain interval, maybe around 30 to 50,000. What I'll do is I'll just drain that, you know, do the 5 quart drain, or the 4 quart or 5 quart or whatever it takes to drain it, and then to refill it. And you also have to check out some other videos on this type of video here, guys. I haven't seen anybody do this as far as on a Chevy Cruze or basically any vehicle. There's some out there that do it a little bit different on your flush, but this works out really good, guys. Once you start that up, it'll start pumping the fluid out, and it'll pump. You can pump, to be on the safe side, just go with 3 quarts, because your pan probably holds, before the pump starts, before your pump starts getting dry, you'd probably be looking at about 4.2 quarts on one of these Chevy Cruzes. Most vehicles, your bigger size like this or Corvette, usually about 5 quarts in the oil in the transmission pan before it starts, you know, getting dry on your pump on your transmission. So I usually just do 3 quarts, and that seems to be working out on this Chevy Cruze as well, because it's not running completely out. It's still pumping after 3 quarts, but that's the way I do it. Pump 3 quarts out, put three fresh quarts back in. Do that 4 times, and you will have completely flushed out all of your transmission fluid throughout the whole system. And then, you know, you want to go through your after you do that, then you want to do your level check. You know, check your there's other videos out there that show you how to check the level, to make sure that your fluid is where it needs to be. You want to make sure also when you do that, guys, you want to make sure that if you do this yourself, jacking it up, you want to make sure you jack the rear up too. You want to keep that car level. And then also you have to start the vehicle. And then once you get it full and it starts coming out that little hole there's a hole on the side of the transmission that you take the nut or the bolt out of there. And once you get that filled up and it starts running out of there, then you know your transmission oil is where it needs to be on this particular vehicle here. Some other vehicles like these Blazers, Corvette, it's going to be a little different on checking because you got a regular dipstick on those. So you want to make sure that you got your transmission up to temperature too, guys. When you do this checking, make sure it's good and heated up real good. So anyways, guys, I thought I'd throw that video out there for you. And like I said, you really need an assistant, somebody to help you. You know, have one person starting it. That's the only downfall of doing it this way, is you need an extra person to help you. Somebody sitting in there to start it, and then when it starts getting up to where it needs to be, then tell them to shut it off. And then, like I said, do that 4 times, guys. You completely flush that. Completely flushed all your fluid out of your transmission on one of these vehicles. Pretty not too difficult to do. I'm guessing probably some of your newer vehicles is going to be a lot harder to do because you can't, you know, it'd be hard to get into some of your transmission oil coolers. And then also, guys, I think what I'm going to do on this one, I'm going to probably end up pulling this front fascia bumper off. And I think what I'm going to do is probably put a transmission cooler, external cooler in it. Just a small one, like I do all my vehicles, and I put them up front of the condenser, and I probably put a video, maybe put a video out there once I get that done. I think I put a video out on this. I put a video out on this car here. It's got an external transmission cooler in the front of the condenser up here. You can check out some of my other videos on this 89 Corvette here. And I put a transmission cooler on that. And guys, it really saves your transmission. That's, like I said, what burns the transmission up is that a lot of city driving, or if you're doing a lot of hill driving, or if you're doing any type of pulling, cooks that transmission fluid. That's one nice thing about the synthetic, though. They will withstand a lot more heat than your regular conventional oil. They will. The synthetic seems to withstand a lot more heat than the conventional transmission fluid. So that's why I always run the full synthetic transmission fluid on all my vehicles. And like I said, never had any issues with transmissions. Blazer there got 250,000 miles on it. Never done anything transmission. We got another 99 Blazer. My wife's Blazer, it's got 384,000 miles on it. Never done anything to transmission. Always kept it. You know, on these here, though, you got a filter, so you definitely want to change out your filter. And I think it's like 5 quarts on these. You know, you got to pull your pan off underneath there, change your filter out. And but I did a complete flush on these also, same way I did on this right here. Complete transmission fluid flush. Put all fresh full synthetic fluid in it. So like I said, never had any issue with the transmission. That's what saves your transmission on these. So anyways, guys, that'll wrap this video up on the 2015 Chevy Cruze on how to flush out your completely flush out your transmission fluid. You can do it, like I said, you can do this yourself. You don't need a machine to do it. It just takes a little bit of time, and like I said, you need an extra person to help you do it, to start the vehicle and shut the vehicle off while you're sitting here watching your container fill up. Do that 4 times, and you completely flushed all your fluid out. That's basically most vehicles, the bigger pickup trucks and stuff like that, probably you know, you might be looking at 15-16 quarts on doing a complete flush on them, because them are probably a little bit bigger transmissions than the heavy-duty pickup trucks and stuff. But as far as your small vehicles, Corvettes, Chevy Blazers, Trailblazers, cruises, stuff like that. I also did a Ford Lincoln Town Car we had, and I think that one was, I might have did 14 quarts on that one to get a complete flush on it, but because that is a Lincoln Town Car, them pretty good size car, so I went ahead and did 14 quarts on that. But